dreams and hope.
On Volunteers TV, we highlight and celebrate people and groups that are great examples to us all.
Every single region in Ghana, we're doing something.
Good.
So no one's being left behind.
Over 800 kids that come to school, so having an extra classroom, extra resources will be really, really beneficial.
If you're a volunteer, you are actually serving because you are giving up your time and resources for nothing in return.
Volunteers TV, Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back. This is Lifeline, and my name is Fred Kranche-Mensah. Today I have a beautiful guest and resourceful who has been married for 9 years, thriving in the institution of marriage. Unfortunately, she does not shy away from discussing issues like this. So we are blessed to have Apioko in the studio with me, and together we will deal with this subject and see how we can help one another. Apioko, you are welcome.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you. We watch you on TV, we see all the colors. So today I felt like I was coming to the Garden of Eden, and I decided to play with it.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you for
And
having me.
interestingly, it matches with my colors.
It does. It does. And thank you for tackling this topic, because I have encountered so many people who are experiencing it, and we are not always equipped. But I mean, we are not counselors. We're not experts like you. But at least I think sometimes it would help to have at least more information, so that for the people who are not ready to seek professional help, we can at least give them sound advice.
Exactly so. Exactly.
So thank
so.
you.
Exactly so. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome.
Thank you. Okay. So like you said, thank you. I've been married for 9 years. I have 2 children. My son is almost 8. My daughter is 6. But our story, my husband and I, started long before 9 years ago. We dated for 7.5 years. Within that time, we cohabited for 2. And so for us, we didn't expect to have any kind of marriage, emotional distance, marriage blues, whatever you call it, because we felt we knew the playbook. I mean, we knew things would be different. We had done our counseling, but we just thought we knew each other well. And when you're dating, and you move to the phase of a serious relationship, and then you start courting, everybody tells you that if you have friends, then you have a better shot.
A better marriage.
at having a good marriage. So we weren't ready.
But does that always work?
Well, I'm seeing that it doesn't. There's my personal experience, but I've also seen people who have been together 10 years, 12 years. They say, what, the longest engagement ever. Those are the jokes that go around. And then they get married, and it's as though they didn't know the person. For us, we did spend a lot of time together. And like I said, we cohabited, which is not very cultural in Ghana.
I know, right?
But it's something that we felt we had to do. And when you talk about cohabitation, then people are thinking about fornication automatically. No, for us, it was actually an economic decision. We're both very big, very ambitious young people. Instead of paying 2 rents, we thought, we are friends. I mean, I don't have a better friend than you.
Exactly.
It's not something that my parents were extremely excited about, but maybe my red hair will tell you that I'm a rebel. But the first thing is, how do you even prepare for that? Why is it that it's not a conversation that we encounter in counseling? Why is it that it's not something that you are told? Even on the wedding day, and particularly I remember the wedding reception, my father, my paternal side, I'm a Ga. All my aunties, I say, they know each other well already, so they'll be fine. As if that's enough arsenal to go in. But nobody is really telling you that there may be this period of time when, beyond the wedding planning, beyond the euphoria, you may feel lonely with your spouse. So that's my first question. Why is it that not even something that we are exposed to?
I feel that, let me first touch on something you said that is very, very, very important. Cohabitation. Sometimes, you see, in one of the episodes, I talked about the benefits of marriage, and one of it was economic benefits. So I'm glad you have brought that up. We may not be able to go really into that, but I feel that that was something wise about your decision. At least it saved you some money. I feel that we are unable to talk about this, and sometimes we are uncomfortable talking about it because of our culture. Sometimes we also feel that when I talk about it, will I be judged? Because emotional emptiness is like a shock, a disappointment. It's like a gap between your expectations and your reality. Okay, I came into marriage with a lot of expectations. I felt that this man is the perfect person for me. This woman is the flesh of my flesh and the bone of my bone. This is my missing rib. I found him or her, and I feel that I am going to be complete. These are some of the expectations we come into marriage with. We expect that my spouse will complete me. And let me touch on that. No human being can complete another human being. We rather complement one another. So when you come in with such an expectation, you will be shocked, because then you realize that during courtship, in your cohabitation, in your courtship, in that period of trying to know yourselves, trust me, there are things that will not come out. Men will, sometimes it's not even consciously hiding them, but it doesn't come out. I remember in my relationship, I dated my wife for 3 years before we got married. And then she would always come and visit me on campus. I was in Legon, well dressed, and you know, she looked very nice. So I decided to visit her at home very early in the morning, where I will catch her off guard, you know, see the real person, you know, not the polish for me to buy a person who presents herself every time.
Shelf,
exactly.
packaged.
I want to know what I will be seeing every morning, and I wouldn't want to discuss what I saw. But I think it was a good thing I took that step. You know, when we have wild expectations that, okay, I am having issues in my life, I am having challenges, and I feel that once I get into marriage, all my problems will be solved.
Disappear.
And then, you see, sometimes the experts will tell you that in courtship or trying to know one another, there are some chemicals that are released into your head. Let me talk about a few of them: oxytocin, and then I can't remember the other one.
Dopamine.
But dopamine. Thank you. It makes you feel high, you know, and it makes you think that I mean, this is the best thing I have ever had, and this is the best place I've ever been. But once you get married, all those chemicals will wear off, and then you are faced with reality. So the shock, the disappointments, it makes it very difficult for people to want to come out and talk about it. But you see, what we suppress will eventually kill us. We need to master the courage to have a conversation. We need to talk about it. So I am also glad that you are available to bless us with your experience. I think 9 years is a lot.
It is,
9 years is a lot.
especially since we started with people, and people have fallen off along the way. So,
exactly.
You know, sometimes we like, oh, we're a young couple, but when you think about it, 9 years, almost a decade, and we're proud of what we've been able to do. Yeah.
You see, I came across a data that says that people who get married, more than 50% of them fall off along the line. So
More than 50%?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
And then interestingly, most of these divorce cases come from the church.
So that's why we don't hear about them.
Exactly. But there is data. So I congratulate you. 9 years is a
Thank
lot.
you.
And thank you for coming out boldly to talk about this, to bless other people.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Well, Bishop, I mean, it's been an interesting journey. It hasn't been all rosy. I think my husband is very, and he's at all the Channel One and city events. He's a life of a party anywhere, and he can have fun all by himself, as can I. But it's taken us a while to get there. We have our personalities, but I think you said something, Bishop, which is very important, that we've learnt along the way that no one can complete you. You have to complement each other. And I think especially after the first year, we really learned that was important. And I'll tell you why. When I was 24, so this is very early in our dating relationship, knowing that I was coming from a history genetically of difficult conception, so not being able to conceive, delayed conception, temporary infertility. We had it all in the family. Even with my mother, I was conceived through IVF in the 80s, so it's there. So luckily, my mother would have open conversations with my sisters and I. We're all girls. I'm the second one. Just letting us know that this is something you may encounter, but it shouldn't make you feel less of a woman. And the earlier you're armed with the information, the better. I also had a history of ovarian cyst. 16, the thing was not, we did all the medication, started shrinking, came back again. I had to do a laparoscopic surgery at some point. In my first year of university, I was all alone in the US and had to have the thing removed. So the situations have been there, By 24, then I was told, just through a routine checkup, that I had a low egg count. So it's something that I was very deliberate because of my mother's, openness with me about letting my then boyfriend know that this is what the situation was. And maybe he didn't fully understand it, but he was also very welcoming and caring through the conversation, empathetic. And so we went into marriage knowing that there may actually be a difficulty in conceiving. But now here we are, we did our traditional wedding August 2016. And I'm using the phrase traditional wedding very deliberately because we like to call it an engagement. And it's not, it's a full-blown marriage.
Exactly.
Which we also learned along the journey. And because we did it 4 months apart, we did the blessing 4 months after the traditional wedding. We understood that it's 2 different licenses, it's 2 different legal processes, and even our counselors and our pastors said to us that is the real marriage in our culture. What we are doing in the church is a blessing. So don't think that one is superior to the other. So we gave it the celebration and the respect that it deserved, did that in August. And then in December 2016, we went to the altar. By March, I was expecting. And we didn't think that would happen because of our medical history and discoveries. So there was that. It came very soon. Then there was also, and I'm sure that one is normal for everybody, are we ready? Do we have the money for a child? All of this, it's coming very quickly. And then thirdly, for me, I'm going to be a mother. What does that mean? I had entered media seeing very few women have children because of the way the work is. And I'm also a creative. On that side too, the women who were thriving, many of them either married very late, didn't have children, or had to choose between career and family if they wanted to thrive. So the examples for me were far and few in between. So there was a lot of that. Yes, my husband was very supportive, but we had just that initial situation staring at us, and he himself is also trying to establish himself as a young professional, a young husband, and now there's an added layer of father. So sometimes the conversations were not as fluid as they should have been. I was lucky because I'm a poet. I would write, I would journal. Many women, many young men don't have that already set up for them. So when you encounter a situation like that, Bishop, how do you deal with it? Because in counseling, sometimes they'll say, oh, you know, wait a year or two and enjoy yourselves before you start having children. But there's very little conversation generally about contraception, how to make sure that the waiting is happening, and within that time too, what do you do if you are waiting? So that would be my next question to you. How do you deal with that
Okay,
phase? Yeah.
okay. Thank God for a supportive husband. Bless his heart wherever he is. It seems to me that you had a lot of events at a very short period. You know, having your traditional marriage, which I also want to confirm that it is the real marriage, then having the church blessing, and then a couple of months after you have conceived miraculously, thank God for that. Your husband is trying to establish himself as a young professional. Now I'm highlighting these ones because then it brings in growth, which is happening at a very fast rate. It brings in added responsibility. You see, once the dopamine and the oxytocin settles, then you are now facing reality. You are seeing that roles are changing, roles are increasing. You are becoming a mother, he is becoming a father. You are having these titles and roles that you have never had. All that will shift attention, all that will shift energy. You see, if you were spending all your energy on your spouse, now that children are coming, your attention is divided. So fortunately, you had a lot of things happening. So what it means is that your shock might be earlier. Your shock of, okay, this is not exactly what I thought it will be. It will be earlier. But how do I deal with this? Now, understand that growth is part of life. I mean, things will happen. As you are growing, you will have additional responsibilities. It's part of life. What can happen also is that how you saw your husband or your spouse during courtship, it will change. Because once he has the thought of a baby coming, he will speed up and he will increase his efforts to make it, you know, so that once baby is here, we can have money to take care of what we need to take care of. And that also brings some level of stress. And all these things will change him. You know, one of the shocks that people experience is that this is not the person I married. You know, from a distance, he or she looked different. But one of the things we also have to understand is that most of the times we don't marry the real people, we marry the ideal people. You know, we have something in psychology called romantic projection. When we love somebody, we try to project certain traits to the person. If even they are not real, oh, he's kind. Even if he's not showing you kindness,
you believe
you believe that he is kind, you know. Very, very interesting things. And so once you have these shocks, one, acknowledge that growth is part of life. Definitely you will grow. And once growth comes, there will be changes. So you try to prepare your mind to accommodate the changes. When you do that, you don't get shocked, you know, because you have prepared your mind that things are changing. So chances are that my spouse will also change, right? Once the mind is prepared, you will be able to adapt very well and accommodate the changes. I think it's time for our break. So we will take a short break, and when we come back, we will talk about some very interesting things you will love to hear, and of course that will help you in your walk in your marriage life. And if even you are not in marriage and you are preparing to get into marriage, it is even better for you. We will be right back.
October marks the 22nd Cybersecurity Awareness Month, a crucial time to protect what matters most in our digital work. From hackers to phishing scams, the risks are real for individuals and businesses across Ghana. Remember, so is the power to stay safe online. Join us this October on Channel 1. We're launching A Safer You, your guide to safer digital living, tailored for our communities. Learn steps to protect passwords, secure devices, and recognize online threats. These lessons are delivered in easy, bite-sized episodes, each under 3 minutes, making learning accessible. A Safer You is brought to you by Digital Unbounded in partnership with Channel 1.
Welcome back. This is Lifeline Conversations, and we are talking about marriage, what I got versus what I ordered. And most especially, and most importantly, we want to talk about the result of expectation and reality. You know, when we are getting into marriage, we go in with certain expectations, and I want to call them misconceptions. We think that marriage probably is going to be the heaven we have been waiting for. It is going to be the one-shot answer to all the questions in my life. These and many other expectations I will once again call misconceptions about marriage. They get you disillusioned, disappointed, sad, and then they do a lot of havoc on your emotions. And so we want to go deep into what we call emotional emptiness. Welcome back, my dear guest.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I can't believe we're already halfway.
How time flies.
It really does. But Bishop, emotional emptiness, what does that even mean? You know, I have had my encounter with it, and so I've sort of defined it for myself. But how do you explain that to somebody who is now getting, how do you tell them that you're going to experience this thing and this is what it is?
First of all, let me say that it will happen once reality starts to set in. It is a feeling of disconnection. It is a feeling of numbness. It's a feeling of not feeling any emotion. You know, you don't, out of the shock of the reality, the harsh reality of marriage, people don't even feel emotions. They can't even feel sad. They can't even feel, you know, they are unable to tell their own emotions, and they are unable to express themselves very well. And then they are also not able to connect with people, and in this context, unable to connect with your spouse. You know, you feel that you have needs that are not met. You feel that communication is not flowing the way you expected it to flow. You feel that you are not getting affection the way you are supposed to get it. Like in your case, you see, once children start coming in, definitely, especially with women, their attention will shift slightly. So you begin to feel it. I'm not being attended to. My spouse is not listening to me. I am not able to express myself. There is no safe emotional environment for me to talk about my needs. And so then you feel disconnected. So the key word here is disconnection. You are disconnected from your spouse. Even though you are in the same room, you feel like roommates. There is no emotional connection, sometimes even physical connection. You don't even get it. So in a nutshell, that is emotional emptiness. And I'm sure you felt it.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I think, you know, for me personally, and I know it's like that for a lot of younger people, you know, there was a time, and when you look at our parents, our grandparents, having, especially as a woman, a man's name attached to yours, it's a big deal. So it's the MRS degree, right? Now, you come down a little, down the generations, I'm a millennial. Now they're the Gen Zs. The Gen Alphas will also grow. Many of the Gen Zs are turning 30 this year. So they are no longer children,
Yes.
right? Many of them are already married.
True.
Now for us, we still recognize the importance that is placed on marriage. But it's not the ultimate for many of us, men and women.
Thank you.
So now identity is more important to us than just being married to someone. And so when we are even entering into marriage, we want to make sure that who we are is not eroded. Even your name change can make you feel like you're losing yourself. And that alone is something, I encountered that. Luckily, my husband from the very beginning said, I don't mind, you can keep your name. But the agreement, of course, is that our children will have his name. They won't have mine, but they'll have his. And one of the things that occasioned that I started earlier by telling you that I'm from a family of only girls. And my father is a last born and was the only boy, amongst 5 sisters. So it's something that we always said, that having our names, our maiden names attached to our marital names would be great for us. But beyond that, I'm a very strong-willed person. And, there's a lot of talk about submission. Do this. No, I don't have a problem with submitting. In fact, submitting to authority is something I was raised to acknowledge, that wherever you find yourself, there can only be one head. You can support, but there's always a leader, whether that leader is named or defined or not.
True.
And so I didn't have a problem with that. But then finding myself in that mix as a natural leader of things myself, a natural pioneer. My whole life I've been a pioneer, whether it's in school, whether it's in different situations. So how, finding the identity. So I want to find out from you, now you're part of a we unit, but how do you make sure that you don't lose who you are to just become Frederick's wife, Nayo's wife? You are still a Pioko, you are still a Kia, you are still Patience, or whoever it is. And then on the other side too, you are not trying so hard to be a husband, a Mr. to a Mrs., so that you lose the person you are as a man within the marriage.
Now, I'm very glad you are talking about this, trying to maintain your individuality in the marriage setting. You see, most of the times we think erroneously that when the scriptures said, a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two of them shall become one. We think erroneously that it is two halves coming together to make a whole. That is wrong. See, the reason God created Adam and he left off some time before creating Eve is that God wanted Adam to discover himself, to know himself, to appreciate his individuality before Eve comes. So first of all, you need to be complete before you get into marriage. You see, marriage is not two halves coming together to be one. Marriage is two whole beings coming together to join forces for God's purpose. You see, so it's important that even in that union, you are conscious of your individuality, you are conscious of who you are. It is said that one of the factors that contribute to stress, bitterness in marriage is when you lose yourself. When you have integrated so much into the marriage that you can't even find yourself anymore. And the psychologists believe and encourages self-differentiation, being conscious of yourself, trying to develop yourself and trying to see yourself before coming together with your spouse. So it's very, very important that even now that you are married, you pursue your goals, you pursue your interests, you pursue other friendships, and then you encourage yourself and your spouse that once you grow as an individual, it will grow your marriage. Once you grow as a person, it will grow your marriage. and then make sure that you don't lose yourself. You have interest. I know women don't like soccer like men like.
But in my case, I do. But
Okay.
I wouldn't like to watch it with all my husband's boys around. I mean, once in a while, fine.
So then they should respect it because you are up your core. You are coming from a different background. You are coming from different experiences. You have your own thoughts. You have your own beliefs. You have your own values. So it makes you a complete person. They should respect your individuality and leave you to pursue your own goals. There are points that we will meet and then become one. But it doesn't mean I should lose myself. I should be myself, pursue my goals. Of course, it should not be in conflict with the marriage goals, you know, but be yourself, find yourself, and grow as a person.
Bishop, I'll share something with you. You know, I mean, I know we're running out of time, but there was a time when I used to get upset with my husband because he wants to go out every Friday night. And we used to go out together on Friday nights. But after marriage, he wants to go out with his friends. And at first, I didn't understand it. And I thought, which new wife will accept this? That every Friday, without fail, he's out with his friends. And I realized, well, you need to find your own Friday night activity. Because he comes back, he's calmer, he's relaxed, you know, all the stress is gone. But maybe we can talk more about that.
Yes,
you know,
yes, in the next episode. All too soon, our time is up. What I want to say to you is this. No matter where you find yourself, whatever that is happening in your life, however you are feeling, there is still hope. I know there is a gap between what you expected and what you are experiencing now. But we can fill that gap with grace, with faith in God, with helpful information that we're giving to you here. And then your marriage can be better. We will see you in the next episode. I look forward to it, and I want you to also look forward to it. Bye for now.